My name is Imran Jan and you're watching my YouTube channel. Today's video I'm going to talk about the situation in Gaza and the death of close to or maybe even more than 4,000 children killed, more than 9,000 people totally killed. Every day there's a new bombing of some school, some church, some hospital, some UN-run school. And other such places which international law will never allow to be bombed even during a time of war. That's a clear violation of the international law and that's a war crime. But regardless of that, what is happening is so heart-wrenching. The images of the dead children that we see on social media, the videos of dead children, little children, parents crying over the dead bodies of their children, people taking out dead bodies of children from under the rubble, from under a destroyed, flattened out building. This is my fourth or fifth attempt to record this video. You know, every time I would start the video, it was so difficult to record it. I would start crying. I'm sure a lot of people out there are really upset and they're trying to do something about it. People like me, we're just writing, tweeting about these things and, making such videos, which is not the strongest thing one can do, but at least it's better than doing nothing at all. So it's just my attempt to reach out to the American audience because it touches upon the American democracy, the essence of the American democracy, how important, how negatively what is happening in Israel is affecting the American democracy and bringing to light the very ugly aspects of American democracy. This is something that needs to be understood, and I'm going to explain that. So a friend of mine knew that I was extremely upset and basically said to me that you need to write to your representatives. Even when I was in the Friday masjid prayers the other day, the imam said that, we need to write to our local representatives and write letters and, send them emails and, just reach out to people and, register our protest and do something about it, speak out. And I know it's good, and the Imam was also speaking in terms of how in Islamic faith this is one of the things you can do. If you cannot physically fight against something, at least you say something about it. And if you cannot even say something about it, then at least in your heart consider it bad, which would be the lowest of the practice of faith. Anyway, the reason I do not fully agree and I'm not fully convinced of that practice, even that American friend of mine who suggested that I do that and reach out to my representatives, is because American democracy is really funny when you think about it. Here's the funniest part about it that I have been noticing for a long time, and I have not found much convincing literature about it, even though when I've looked for it and searched for it. Every 4 years, there's election in this country. There's a huge election campaign. Billions of dollars are invested and spent into that, which comes from PACs and super PACs and lots of other corporations, which then control the American presidency. But that's another topic. How the 14th Amendment of the US Constitution actually allows that bribery to become legal. Like I said, that's a topic for another day, which I will talk about. But just remember, 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution allows that money, that bribery money, to be used legally in election campaign. And like I said, we'll get to that in a different video. Every 4 years there's an election. Politicians come out in the open, they do talks and campaigns and city hall talks and all sorts of things. There's, of course, social media use enormously done to convince the people to vote for them, and billions of dollars are spent in these election campaigns. It's a very huge extravaganza if you pay attention to it every 4 years. They know that the American people have the power to use their vote in their favor or against them, and they definitely do have that power. But here's a disturbing part of that democratic practice. Once they do vote, once people go ahead and vote, and like I said, there's another related topic, which is also maybe a topic for a different vlog, which is that people don't actually directly vote for people in this country. They vote for other people who will then go ahead and vote for the president, who may or may not vote that way. It's called the Electoral College, and it was enacted and created and inserted into the practice of democracy in this country by the forefathers of the Constitution, because they were afraid against what they call the excess of democracy, meaning people should not have so much power. And that's another topic. But after they are done voting for the people that they want to vote for, or the people they want to vote against, there is practically nothing the American people can do, whatever their elected leaders do for the next 4 years in the office. For example, President Biden, he has decided to send $14 billion to the Israelis, claiming that they need to defend themselves against dead children of Gaza. So many American people are against it. They are marching outside in the streets and protesting and whatnot. But there's not a single practical, tangible, solid thing that they can do in order to stop that from happening. That's the saddest part of the democracy. You can only do something every 4 years when there's election time. And a lot of people who are hardcore American, when I talk to them, they say, yeah, we can punish this presidency when the election time comes. What about the damage that will be done until that time? Remember, 9/11 was a revenge attack. 9/11 was blowback. And one of the main reasons that was done by Al-Qaeda is because of the United States support for the Israeli aggression. That was cited by bin Laden in his justification for the jihad against the United States. We have no reason to believe that the same will not happen again, because the same is happening in the Middle East again. And there will be so many people rising up against this aggression right now. Think of the parents who have lost their children right now. Think of the children who have lost their parents right now. Think of the siblings who lost their siblings right now. Think of all the people who lost some kind of loved one in this aggression right now. What do you think their state of mind is right now? What do you think when all of this is over and done, where will those people stand? What would they want to do to Israel and to the United States, knowing that this country is funding that aggression? That is something to be looked into by the American people. And the fact that they have to wait every 4 years to be able to do something about this is not a very practical, healthy use of democracy, as far as I understand. Again, I will be doing my research more and more into this, and I will be doing more and more reflections and thoughts about this issue. But everyone that I've talked to, every American who was born and raised here, does not. The people that I've talked to, nobody has been able to give me a convincing reply to this. There is nothing they can do. And a democracy, if people are supposed to be the ones with all the power, then why can they not do anything about this right now? Why can they not stop Biden from funding genocide in Gaza right now by sending billions of dollars and providing all kinds of other supports, like diplomatic support in the United Nations, killing any resolution that will call for ceasefire? They're so afraid right now that they cannot even use the word ceasefire right now. Sometimes it may sound like a very extreme statement to say that, but it almost sounds like the Israelis have gotten the Americans by the balls, the American leadership. The American foreign policy, it's as if though, is made in Jerusalem, not in Washington, D.C. That should be alarming. Forget about the Palestinian dead children. Forget about the issues of Palestine and Israel war. American democracy is at stake, and it's in trouble. And it has brought to light some very ugly aspects of this democracy. And that is something I think I will be writing about, and people should be paying attention to this. I will be talking more and more about this topic in my subsequent videos. But until that, please take care of yourselves. Goodbye.